Hello everyone, welcome to Indian Polity Audiobook by M. Lakshmikant, 6th edition. Changes by the Independence Act. The representatives of the princely states who had stayed away from Constituent Assembly gradually joined it. On April 28, 1947, representatives of 6 states were part of the Assembly. After the acceptance of the Mountbatten Plan of June 3, 1947 for the partition of the country, the representatives of most of the other princely states took their seats in the Assembly. The members of Muslim League from the Indian Dominion also entered the Assembly. The Indian Independence Act of 1947 made the following 3 changes in the position of the Assembly. The Assembly was made a fully sovereign body which could frame any constitution it pleased. The Act empowered the Assembly to abrogate or alter any law made by the British Parliament in relation to India. The Assembly also became a legislative body. In other words, 2 separate functions were assigned to the Assembly, that is, making of constitution for free India and enacting of ordinary laws of the country. These 2 tasks were to be performed on separate days. Thus, the Assembly became the first Parliament of Free India, Dominion Legislature. Whenever the Assembly met as the constituent body, it was chaired by Dr. Rajendra Prasad, and when it met as legislative body, it was chaired by G.V. Malvankar. These 2 functions continued till November 26, 1949, when the task of making the constitution was over. The Muslim League members hailing from the areas included in the Pakistan withdrew from Constituent Assembly for India. Consequently, the total strength of the Assembly came down to 299 as against 389 originally fixed in 1947-46 under the Cabinet Mission Plan. The strength of the Indian provinces, formerly British provinces, was reduced from 296 to 229, and those of princely states from 93 to 70. The statewide membership of the assemblies as on December 31st, 1947 is shown in table 2.4 of this chapter. Other functions performed. In addition to the making of constitution and enacting of ordinary laws, the Constituent Assembly also performed the following functions. It ratified the India's membership of the Commonwealth in May 1949. It adopted the national flag on July 22, 1947. It adopted the national anthem on January 24, 1950. It adopted the national song on January 24, 1950. It elected Dr. Rajendra Prasad as the first President of India on January 24, 1950. In all, the Constituent Assembly had 11 sessions over 2 years, 11 months and 18 days. The constitution makers had gone through the constitution of about 60 countries, and draft constitution was considered for 114 days. The total expenditure incurred on making constitution amounted to 64 lakh. On January 24, 1950, the Constituent Assembly held its first final session. It, however, did not end and continued as the Provisional Parliament of the India From January 26, 1950 till the formation of new parliament after the first general election in 1951-52. Committees of the Constituent Assembly. The Constituent Assembly appointed a number of committees to deal with different tasks of constitution making. Out of these, 8 were major committees and other were minor committees. The name of these committees and their chairmen are given below. Major committees: Union Powers Committee, Jawaharlal Nehru; Union Constitution Committee, Jawaharlal Nehru; Provincial Constitution Committee, Sardar Patel; Drafting Committee, Dr. B.R. Ambedkar; Advisory Committee on Fundamental Rights, Minorities, and Tribal and Excluded Areas, Sardar Patel. This committee had the following 5 subcommittees: Fundamental Rights Subcommittee, J.B. Kriplani; Minorities Subcommittee, H.C. Mukherjee; Northeast Frontier Tribal Areas and Assam Excluded and Partially Excluded Areas Subcommittee, Gopinath Bardoloi; Excluded and Partially Excluded Areas other than those in Assam Subcommittee, A.V. Thakkar; Northwest Frontier Tribal Areas Subcommittee, Rules of Procedure Committee, Dr. Rajendra Prasad; States Committee, Committee for Negotiating with States, Jawaharlal Nehru; Steering Committee, Dr. Rajendra Prasad. Minor committees: Finance and Staff Committee, Dr. Rajendra Prasad; Credentials Committee, Aladi Krishnaswamy Iyer; House Committee, B. Patabi Sitaramaya; Order of Business Committee, Dr. K. M. Munshi; Ad hoc Committee on National Flag, Dr. Rajendra Prasad; Committee on the Functions of Constituent Assembly, G. V. Mavlanka; Ad hoc Committee on Supreme Court, S. Vardhachari, not Assembly Member; Committee on Chief Commissioner Provinces, B. Patabi Sitaramaya; Expert Committee on the Financial Provisions of Union Constitution, Nalini Rajan Sarkar, not an Assembly Member; Linguistic Provinces Commission, S. Kedhar, not an Assembly Member; a Special Committee to examine the draft constitution, Jawaharlal Nehru; Press Gallery Committee, Ushanath Sen; Ad hoc Committee on Citizenship, S. Vardhachari, not an Assembly Member; Drafting Committee. Among all the committees of the Constitutional Assembly, the most important committee was the Drafting Committee, set up on August 29, 1947. It was this committee that was entrusted with the task of preparing a draft of the new constitution. It consisted of 7 members. They were Dr. B.R. Ambedkar, Chairman; N. Gopalaswamy Iyengar; Aladi Krishnaswamy Iyer; Dr. K. M. Munshi; Syed Ahmad Sadullah; N. Madhava Rao. He replaced B. L. Mittal, who resigned due to ill health. T. Krishnamachari. He replaced D. P. Khaitan, who died in 1948. The Drafting Committee, after taking into consideration the proposal of these various committees, drafted the first draft of the Constitution of India, which was published in February 1948. The people of India were given 8 months to discuss the draft and propose amendments in the light of public comments, criticism, and suggestions. The Drafting Committee prepared a second draft, which was published in October 1948. The Drafting Committee took less than 6 months to prepare its draft. In all, it sat only for 141 days. Enactment of Constitution. Dr. B.R. Ambedkar introduced the final draft of the Constitution in the Assembly on November 4, 1948. First reading. The Assembly had a general discussion on it for 5 days. till November 9, 1948. The second read, clause by clause consideration, started on November 15, 1948 and ended on October 17, 1949. During this stage, as many as 7653 amendments were proposed and 2473 were actually discussed in the Assembly. The third reading of the draft started on November 14, 1949. Dr. B.R. Ambedkar moved a motion. The Constitution as settled by the Assembly was passed. The motion on draft constitution was declared as passed on November 26, 1949 and received the signatures of the members and the President. Out of the total 299 members of the Assembly, only 284 were actually present on that day and signed the Constitution. This is also the date mentioned in the preamble as the date on which the people of India in the Constituent Assembly adopted, enacted, and gave themselves this Constitution. The Constitution, as adopted on November 26, 1949, contained a preamble, 395 articles, and 8 schedules. The preamble was enacted after the entire Constitution was already enacted. By B.R. Ambedkar, the law minister, piloted the draft constitution in the assembly. He took a very prominent part in the deliberation of the assembly. He was known for his logical, forceful and persuasive argument on the floor of assembly. He is recognized as the father of Constitution of India. This brilliant writer, constitutional expert, undisputed leader of scheduled caste and the chief architect of the Constitution of India is also known as Modern Manu. Enforcement of the Constitution. Some provisions of the Constitution pertaining to citizenship, elections, provision parliament, temporary and transitional provisions and short title contained in Article 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 60, 324, 366, 367, 379, 380, 388, 391, 392, and 393 came to force on November 26, 1949 itself. The remaining provisions, the major part of the Constitution, came into force on July 26, 1950. This day is referred to in Constitution as the day of its commencement and celebrated as Republic Day. January 26 was specifically chosen as the date for commencement of the Constitution because of its historical importance. It was on this day in 1930 that Purna Swaraj Day was celebrated following the resolution of the Lahore session. December 1929 of the INC. With the commencement of the Constitution, the Indian Independence Act of 1947, the Government India Act of 1935, with all the enactments amending or supplementing the later act were repealed. The abolition of Privy Council Jurisdiction Act 1949 was, however, continued. Experts Committee of the Congress. While elections to the Constituent Assembly were still in progress, on July 8, 1946, the Congress Party, Indian National Congress, appointed an expert committee for the purpose of preparing material for the Constituent Assembly. This committee consisted of the following members: Jawaharlal Nehru, Chairman; M. Asaf Ali, K. M. Munshi, N. Gopala Swami Iyengar, K. D. Shah, D. R. Gadgil, Humayun Kabir, K. S. Santhanam. Later on, the chairman's proposal, it was resolved that Krishna Kripalani be co-opted as member and convener of the committee. The committee had two sittings, the first at New Delhi for July 20 to 22, 20, 1946, and the second at Bombay for August 15 to 17, 1946. Apart from a number of notes prepared by its member, the committee discussed the procedure to be adopted by the Constituent Assembly, the question of appointment of various committees, and the draft of a resolution on the objectives of the Constitution to be moved during the first session of the Constituent Assembly. On the role played by this committee in the making of Constitution, Granville Austin, a British constitutional expert, observed it was the Congress Experts Committee that set India on the road to her present constitution. The committee members, working within the framework of the Cabinet Mission Scheme, made general suggestions about autonomous areas and the powers of provincial governments and the centre, and about such issues as the princely states and the amending power. They also drafted a resolution closely resembling the objectives resolution. Criticism of Constituent Assembly. The critics have criticized the Constituent Assembly on various grounds. These are as follows. Not a representative body. The critics have argued that the Constituent Assembly was not a representative body, as its members were not directly elected by the people of India on the basis of universal adult franchise. Not a sovereign body, the critics maintained that the Constituent Assembly was not a sovereign body, as it was created by the proposal of British government. Further, they said that Assembly held its sessions with the permission of the British government. Time consuming. According to critics, the Constituent Assembly took unduly long time to make the Constitution. They stated that the framers of the American Constitution took only 4 months to complete their work. In the context, Naziruddin Ahmad, a member of Constituent Assembly, coined a new name of drafting committee to show his contempt for it. He called it drifting committee. Dominated by Congress, the critics charged that the Constituent Assembly was dominated by Congress party. Granville Austin, an American constitution expert, remarked, the Constitution Assembly was a one-party body in an essentially one-party country. The Assembly was Congress and the Congress was India. Lawyer politician domination. It also maintained by the critics that the Constituent Assembly was dominated by the lawyers and politicians. They pointed out that other sections of the society were not sufficiently represented. This, to them, is the reason for the bulkiness and complicated language of Constitution. Dominated by Hindus. According to some critics, the Constituent Assembly was a Hindu-dominated body. Lord Viscount Simon called it a body of Hindus. Similarly, Winston Churchill commented that the Constituent Assembly represented only one majority community in India. Important fact. Elephant was adopted as the symbol seal of the Constituent Assembly. Sir B.N. Rao was appointed as the constitutional legal advisor to the Constituent Assembly. H.V.R. Iyengar was the secretary to the Constituent Assembly. S.N. Mukherjee was the chief draftsman of the Constitution. Prem Bihari Narayan Raizada was the calligrapher. The original Constitution was handwritten by him in a flowing italic style. The original version was beautiful and decorated by artists from Shantiniketan, including Nandlal Bose and Behar Manohar Sinha. Behar Manohar Sinha illuminated, beautified, and ornamented the original preamble calligraphed by Prem Bihari Narayan Raizada. The calligraphy of Hindi version of the original constitution was done by Vasant Krishna Vaidya and elegantly decorated and illuminated by Nandlal Bose. In the text of the Constitution, originally, the Constitution of India did not make any provision with respect to authoritative text of the Constitution in the Hindi language. Later, a provision in this regard was made by the 58th Constitutional Amendment Act of 1987. The amendment inserted the new Article 394A in the last part of the Constitution, that is, Part 22. This article contains the following provisions. The President shall cause to be published under his authority the translation of the Constitution in Hindi language, the modification which are necessary to bring it in conformity with the language, style and terminology adopted in the authoritative text of the central acts in the Hindi can be made in it. All the amendments of the Constitution made before such publication should be incorporated in it. The translation in Hindi of every amendment of the Constitution made in English, the translation of Constitution and its every amendment published shall be construed to have the same meaning as the original text in English. If any difficulty arises in the matter, the President shall cause the Hindi text to be revised suitably. The translation of the Constitution and its every amendment published shall be deemed to be, for all purpose, its authoritative text in Hindi.